What's up guys? In today's video, I'm breaking down the best choices for video editing programs on Windows in 2020. I've spent my time doing all the research for you, and I've got some awesome options for Windows users at beginner, intermediate, and pro skill levels. Hey, it's Joel with Video Shift Media. We're all about equipping you with the best tools, knowledge, and practices to level up every area of your video creation and marketing skills to save time and create content like a pro. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and you can find all the links mentioned in this video in the description box below. So let's go. Video editing software constantly changes and evolves, and that's why I will likely be doing a lot more of these video updates in the future, as recommendations will change with the market. But today I will be dividing my recommendations into 3 categories: free, paid, and professional grade software with a recommended skill level attached. Because if you're just starting out with video editing, you'll want to know which is the best for you to have a go at and not waste a heap of time getting frustrated with a program that's too complicated for your current skill level. Now, each program will have some basic system requirements for your computer to get the best results. And generally, a newer machine is recommended for video editing, as it can be pretty intensive for your laptop if it's an old and reliable. But while we go through this list, drop a comment below about which video editing software you're using right now. And once we've gone through all of the options, make sure you stick around, because I'll be going over 3 bonus tips for editing your videos faster in any video editing software right now. So in the free video editing category, you will typically find programs like Shotcut, HitFilm Express, Lightworks, VSDC, and Vinci Resolve. I'm leaving out free system programs we all know and love, hate, because, well, I only make suggestions that don't suck. The paid section is going to be options for people with a budget that know they will be editing often, but they don't have that professional skill level yet. And the professional section is all about that pro video level that does cost money, but the programs are also amazing value for the flexibility and speed you can edit videos at. I'll be mentioning some industry standard programs here and focusing on only the best choices. As a final point before we start, none of the included software in this list will include any watermarks on your videos. Now, normally with free programs, they can be quite limiting in their included features, customization, and the ability to get the edits you really want. So after going through all of these options, I've narrowed it down to the best free software for Windows. And they are HitFilm Express, Vinci Resolve, and VSDC. So let's jump right in. HitFilm Express is a free video editing software with professional grade VFX tools and everything you need to make awesome content, films, or gaming videos. Perfect for beginners, film students, gamers, YouTubers, or any creative without a budget. The great thing about HitFilm Express is that you're joining a growing community of 5.1 million filmmakers and content creators, all striving to make great content. This software has an easy to use interface that pretty much anyone could jump into and start learning for free with. There are a load of VFX add-on packs that you can purchase if you're looking to do some more advanced VFX work, titles, or color grading. Or you could go ahead and purchase the pro version as an option as well. But for the beginner, HitFilm Express would more than be adequate enough to cut professional looking videos together on your computer. It has a nice and easy to understand interface to get you started, and a good amount of features to keep you busy video editing, sound, music, titles, graphics, and more. VSDC is another free video software that allows you to edit video files and create videos of all types. It supports the most popular video and audio formats and codecs, including DVD, HD, and GoPro videos. The cool thing here is that VSDC uses pre-made profiles that make the creation of videos for various multimedia and mobile devices a breeze. VSDC is a bit harder to use than HitFilm, as the interface isn't quite as intuitive. However, the free version of VSDC does come with more features included than HitFilm. So making a decision between these two will really come down to which software has the features you need, and which interface you find easier to edit with quickly. In summary, for VSDC, what you're getting for free is pretty sweet, and definitely will do the job for most beginners. There is a pro version that they sell for around $20 to unlock some extra features. The third program on my free list is a personal favourite, Vinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve 16 is the current version that combines professional editing up to 8K footage, color correction, visual effects, and audio post-production in an all-in-one software tool. Guys, this is the most professional software on the market that you can get for free. You can instantly move between editing, color effects, and audio with a single click. Whether you're an individual artist or part of a large collaborative team, DaVinci Resolve is becoming a standard for high-end post-production. It's used on Hollywood feature films, TV shows, and commercials more than any other software. Part of the reason why it's becoming so popular is Blackmagic Design. This is the company behind the software that's really disrupting the market at the moment. Their product range includes affordable cinema-style cameras that work seamlessly with DaVinci Resolve. The Pocket 4K and 6K cinema cameras are the most popular and produce stunning images, similar to $20,000 cameras at a fraction of the price. But I'm a little biased as this video is being filmed on the Pocket 4K camera right now. Back to the software. The DaVinci interface is definitely intuitive and great for saving time as it uses your computer's GPU to speed up your editing performance. But that doesn't go for older and slower computers. DaVinci runs best on newer, more powerful computers to get the best out of them. So if you're using an older laptop, don't expect amazing performance there. Now, will it be a good option for beginners? Probably not, as it is packed full of all these professional features, which will be a little overwhelming if you're just getting started. The interface isn't as easy to use as other free options, and it does require setting up with keyboard shortcuts to really make the most of the program, and it will really take some time getting used to using this efficiently. A final point that when downloading DaVinci Resolve, you'll need to register on the Blackmagic Design website to get your access code for the software. So to summarize, for the free section, if you're an absolute beginner, VSDC or HitFilm Express would both be great options to dip your toes into video editing with. And if you're someone who is more intermediate and has been editing on simple programs for some time, DaVinci Resolve would be a great option to level up your editing skills with, at no additional cost to you other than your time. If you're wanting to get into more creative video projects or filmmaking as a hobby, I would highly recommend DaVinci Resolve, as it will more than likely meet all of your needs and more. That being said, all the programs I have mentioned are simply tools for being creative. No one tool is going to be the best for everyone, and it's how you use those tools to achieve the results you want as well. But since all these programs are free, I would suggest trialing them out by downloading a few different trial versions to see what best fits your needs. As mentioned before, the links to all of these are in the description below. Okay, so let's jump into the next section. Paid video editing programs. Paid video editing software is going to be more well-rounded, complete with a bunch of extra features with no restrictions. You might be paying a premium for a lifetime license, a license for multiple computers, or a monthly or annual subscription to the software. Obviously, there are some exceptions to the rule, like DaVinci Resolve here, but most of the time I found this to be the case. In the paid section, we have Lightworks Pro, WeVideo, Filmora and Filmora Pro, Adobe Premiere Rush, VSDC Pro, AVS Video Editor, Mov AVI Plus, Camtasia, Vegas Movie Studio, Adobe Premiere Elements, and Vegas Pro. Yes, that's a ridiculous amount of programs and ain't nobody got time for that, so I have narrowed this section down to the following awesome choices, and I think these are the only options worth the top spots in this section. So they are WeVideo, Adobe Premiere Rush, Filmora and Filmora Pro. Starting off with Adobe Premiere Rush, this is a program and app that has been around for a few years. I still believe it's worth an honorable mention in 2020 as it is pretty cool. You can start a video edit on your iPhone or Android phone with the app and continue that same edit on your computer, which could be a really great option if you travel a lot and don't have access to your computer. But in terms of features and capabilities, it kind of falls short compared to some of the other options on this list. Next on the list is WeVideo. The capabilities of this software are many and diverse. WeVideo markets itself as fast, easy and flexible, and it does just that by being a browser-based software, so you don't need to download anything onto your computer. This could be great again if you're traveling around a lot, but the difference here is being able to use this on any computer by logging into a supported browser. For example, this could mean a company with multiple people working on one project would be super easy. You would need to make a team account and share access if this is the case, and do be aware though, if you are traveling to places with dodgy internet, that will seriously hinder your ability to edit quickly. But you can actually start editing while your files are still uploading in the background, which is a very cool time-saving feature. For pricing, WeVideo does use the subscription model, starting at $4.99 a month for the power plan. Do note there are some restrictions on each of these plans along with some awesome features. The big one to note is the 720p restriction on the power plan. The plan I would recommend starting with is the next one up, the unlimited plan. It's pretty amazing times we live in that you can now edit up to 4K resolution video online with little to no lag in the cloud. It's pretty cool stuff. This option is another one that would be a really great choice for a beginner or an intermediate level editor looking to cut stuff together on the go quickly. For beginners, the ease of use and not having to worry about which computer you're on is a big selling point here. The last one for this section is Filmora. This is a software that has only recently overtaken a lot of its competitors and really has become quite an awesome tool to use. If you're a total beginner and have never edited videos before in your life, this would be a great option to get up to speed quickly with a simple, intuitive interface. One of the biggest pluses about Filmora is the optimization for lower grade computers. I was really impressed when testing this on a lower spec machine with how smoothly I was able to edit video. The awesome thing about Filmora is when you purchase it, you get a lifetime license. No monthly subscriptions or anything like that, it's yours for good. For under $60 US, you get an awesome array of features to edit your YouTube videos with, your movies with, your marketing videos. It's really a great deal. Filmora Pro is the next upgrade to the standard Filmora version. Filmora Pro is packed full of even more features to really take intermediate level video editor projects to that next level. The one-time purchase price of just under $150 might be off-putting for some, but when you look at the included professional level features and add up how much you would be spending in the long term with professional video editing subscriptions, Filmora Pro really is a great deal. It's a big cool, but features included in Filmora Pro seem to rival the famous, or infamous, Premiere Pro, depending on your opinions of Premiere, which we'll be talking about soon. So for this section, if I had to pick a winner, it would have to be Vinci Resolve. I know it didn't get a mention here, but I will leave that for the professional section coming up next. But in terms of getting professional level features at an all-in-one package, Vinci Resolve is still the clear winner here, and it's for free. It's actually insane. The only thing you'll be needing to take into account here is how capable your computer is of running the program smoothly, and how much time you have to invest in learning a program this big. That brings us to the final section that I have for you guys today, professional editing programs. These are the industry standard programs used by professional video editors, large productions, and post-production houses when immense attention to detail is required with frame-by-frame edits. But there are still some amazing options here for the intermediate editor, and if you're determined enough and have enough time on your hands, the beginner editor too. Professional video editing programs include the likes of Adobe Premiere Pro, Vinci Resolve Studio, which is the paid version of the software mentioned earlier, Final Cut Pro X for Mac users, and Avid Media Composer. Now, since this video is mainly for you guys as aspiring solo video editors, I'll be leaving out Avid Media Composer. This is a really high-end program designed for and used by international film and TV production, and since Final Cut Pro X is for Mac, that leaves us with Adobe Premiere Pro and Vinci Resolve. Now, I'll be starting off with the elephant in the room, Adobe Premiere Pro. This is an amazing video editing program that I personally have been using for years. The software itself has evolved like everything else into an easy to download and set up application from Adobe, but it is far from easy to use for the beginner. Some of you with some experience here may be thinking, yeah, but Joel, I use it all the time and find it super easy to use. Well, that is awesome, but think about how many hours you've already invested into Premiere Pro alone to get where you are now. And so for those of you who haven't tried Premiere Pro for editing before, here's the scoop. Premiere Pro has an incredible amount of features packed into one piece of software, likely more so than any other software mentioned here apart from DaVinci. The Premiere interface is a bit of an eyesore covered in grey, and it can be a pain to use on a laptop screen. There's so many different panels and things you need to enable and click to do the thing you wanted to, that could cause massive headaches for those less experienced. The positive side of this is Creative Cloud. Adobe Creative Cloud comes packed with a bunch of famous standalone programs to come to the rescue, and they all integrate really easily with Premiere. You could directly drag a Photoshop project file into Premiere as a graphic overlay, or right-click and open with Audition to any audio file in Premiere that needs tidying up, or even composite a really advanced VFX shot in with After Effects. With Premiere Pro and Adobe Creative Cloud in general, the possibilities really are only limited by your imagination. Now, a big reason a lot of people choose Premiere is due to the massive amount of file types that just work with it. You can drag in just about any video or audio file type there is and expect it to work with Premiere. Another really cool feature that came out recently is the ability to repurpose your videos to be different sizes with auto reformat across YouTube, Facebook, Instagram stories, TikTok, you name it. So now, if you're keen to give it a try, Premiere Pro and Creative Cloud comes with a 7-day free trial. After that, if you want to continue, everything is subscription based with monthly or annual payments. You can choose to subscribe to Premiere Pro alone, with a couple of programs, or the entire Creative Cloud suite for not that much more. Now, mentioning it again, DaVinci Resolve Studio is the last software in the professional section, as this software is just that, and it does have some paid features to unlock. The studio version of DaVinci Resolve does have a one-off license payment of just under $300. With the studio version, you do unlock professional interfaces, multiple monitor outputs and things like that, higher resolutions like 8K and things like that, and I should mention that you do get the studio version of the software for free with any Blackmagic cinema camera that you purchase. However, the free version of DaVinci will do pretty much everything that the majority of people will need in an editing program. I would highly recommend Premiere Pro to any intermediate level editor wanting serious flexibility when editing their videos, and Creative Cloud to anyone who needs to design, create, and release multimedia to a high level on a regular basis. A word of warning though, universities create entire full-time courses teaching this stuff, so a major investment in time and determination is what you'll need to have a good time editing with Adobe products. Alright guys, so that wraps it up for my best video editing software for Windows in 2020. Thank you for staying with me for this long. I know your brain might be a little fried after that, so let's break it down. My main recommendations for each section for you guys are WeVideo for the absolute beginner, especially if you're editing on a computer that's not so powerful. Give some of that hard processing work to the online web and use it if you're a traveler too. The next one would be Filmora or Filmora Pro for the intermediate editor. If you have some experience doing some editing but don't have the time to get stuck into a big technical program, then Filmora could be the one for you. And Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve are the only real picks for professional editors wanting an industry standard solution on Windows that's affordable and accessible and packed with high-end features. And lastly, my top pick for the overall winner. It's a really tough choice here, but for now I'm going with Premiere Pro. Premiere is an incredible program to edit with and has been my go-to for the last 7 years. I know DaVinci Resolve is an amazing offer, and as I say, it's a tough call, but Premiere Pro takes the crown for now, as I do think you can edit faster and do more with this software at the end of the day. This pick may change in the future with all the things that Blackmagic are doing, but that will have to wait for another video. And with that, it's time for my 3 biggest tips to improve your video editing speed with any software. It doesn't matter which software you pick from this list, I promise this advice will help you. Tip number 1 is to get organized before you start. This means getting all your video and audio files put into a project folder. I like to have one folder named after my video and have separate labeled folders within that folder so I know where everything is. This is the same deal for once you're in your editing program. Use the media browser to create folders in your editing project so you know where everything is and you don't get confused by what's going on later. Tip number 2 is to start off your edits by focusing on the story. This is called a rough cut. It can be very tempting when you first drag in a few video clips to start messing around with overlay titles, graphics, color correcting things and effects and stuff like that. If you're adding effects like that at the start, all that's going to do is slow down your computer and make things harder and slower the further you go. But I would recommend just getting all the clips you want into the timeline first and getting a rough story together from start to finish so you can see how your story flows as a whole before wasting a bunch of time on the fine details and having to change it all later again. So focus on story first with a rough cut. And my final tip today is to make sure you're using keyboard shortcuts when you edit. So many first-time editing that I see try to use their mouse, clicking all the buttons on the screen. This alone is going to double, if not triple, your time spent video editing, as you're only using one of your two hands. And I know it will take some time to get used to, but have a notepad next to you with a few essential keyboard shortcuts to remind you how to use them. This will help you get into the mindset of using your other hand to speed up your editing workflow. This is something you can do in any editing program, but it's an essential practice for all of them. Now, those 3 tips are just a small part of a much larger guide I'm putting together to show the fastest and easiest way to edit a video project from start to finish. If you would like to grab a copy of the guide to download, there's a link in the description. I also have some free resources for you guys on all the filming and editing equipment I use in the links below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn the bell on. I'll see you next time.